Finally, I don't have to see you anymore. You've been living here without paying. But now it's time for you to go. We've put up with your freeloading for too long. Okay, I get it. I'll go. Thanks for everything. I packed my things fast and left the house where I'd been living with my in-laws. I saw my mother-in-law smiling happily as I went. I chuckled to myself, putting on a sad face, but I knew what was coming for this house next. Hi, I'm Arabella, 29 years old, and I work from home. I've been married to Sheldon for 5 years. We were happy together, but things changed in our 4th year of marriage. Suddenly, my father-in-law got sick, and we had to move in with my in-laws to take care of him. We thought it would only be temporary, but Sheldon's the only child, so we ended up staying longer to help out. I even thought about quitting my job to take care of him, but luckily I could keep working from home. Living with my in-laws was chaotic at first, but then came some issues, especially with my mother-in-law. Arabella, when are you going to start doing some housework? Get cleaning and cook dinner already. I'm not just lazing around, mother-in-law scolded. What are you talking about? You're always on that computer surfing the web. You must be wasting time instead of doing work. The idea that using a computer means wasting time is old-fashioned. I got special permission to work from home. I wanted to use the skills I'd worked hard to get, so I balanced my job with taking care of the house and my father-in-law. It felt good when, after about 3 months of hard work, I managed to earn as much as before. I had to work extra hard because it was tough to operate on just Sheldon's income. I'm glad we'll finally have some extra money, I thought. But things got harder. For some reason, it seemed like our savings were going down. When I checked our spending, I realized Sheldon was spending a lot, and I found out my mother-in-law was spending a lot too. John has always liked to show off, often treating his coworkers to lunch. But lately, he's been using our credit card to throw big parties for them, I explained. If you spend more than you earn, your savings will go down, I continued. As for my mother-in-law, she's picked up a bunch of expensive hobbies with her friends, spending money on classes and socializing without thinking twice. With both Sheldon and my mother-in-law piling chores and caregiving on me, while spending recklessly, I reached my limit. I was covering all our expenses with my income and couldn't even think about saving money. It stressed me out, so I decided to talk to them. Sheldon, Mom, you've been spending a lot lately. If we keep this up, we're going to run out of savings. Can you please cut back on spending? But they both pushed back firmly. You think I want my coworkers to see me as cheap? I have to treat them sometimes, Sheldon defended. It's okay not always to be the one treating, and they won't think you're cheap if you're not always throwing parties, I reasoned. I have to be considerate at work too, you know, Sheldon countered. It's one thing to treat your coworkers to lunch, but taking them to a bar on your tab, how does that have anything to do with work? You're just doing it for fun, right? I questioned. And don't pretend you don't know. You come home drunk and brag about it. You're having way more fun than talking to your mom. You see what I mean, right? I added. I go to my classes too to have fun with my friends. Are you saying I should stay home? My mother-in-law retorted. You're not being a good wife. You who only know how to do housework have no right to tell me what to do, she accused. Why is she acting so superior when all she does is stay at home? I work too, you know. I earn money and help with the household. I'm also taking care of your dad, not just doing chores, I defended myself. Stop lying. My mom takes care of Dad, and since you're not even going to the office, you're not making much, are you? Who do you think you are acting all superior just because you work part-time? Sheldon interjected. I was stunned, speechless. It seemed like they didn't understand that I was working, taking care of the house and my father-in-law, all while earning money. My mother-in-law seemed to have told Sheldon that she was the one looking after my father-in-law, making me appear lazy. I thought about leaving many times, but I stayed for my father-in-law. He's always been kind to me since I married Sheldon, always saying, Arabella, I'm sorry you have to put up with so much. What are you talking about? I feel bad needing care, but I feel worse about how your son and wife are treating you. They're taking advantage of you, aren't they? He would respond. Well, yes. We couldn't make ends meet with Sheldon's income alone. It's all thanks to your hard work that we're getting by, I admitted. It turned out my father-in-law had known about our household situation all along. Whenever he needed care, he thanked me and spoke kindly to me. I loved him dearly, so taking care of him wasn't a burden at all. But I worried about what would happen to him if I left, so I decided to look after him diligently until he passed away, which occurred about a year later. Hey, would you take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel? Thanks. At his funeral, I cried the whole time, grieving sincerely for him. But my mother-in-law, without shedding a tear, coldly asked me why I was crying so much. It was clear she wasn't grieving like I was, I thought. So I replied, "My father-in-law has passed away. Of course I'm sad. I've been taking care of him all this time." Upon hearing my reply, my mother-in-law exploded with anger, as if I didn't take care of my husband at all, but the truth was she hardly took care of him. Instead, she took advantage of me, avoiding both housework and caregiving by claiming she was too busy with her hobbies. Yet she always managed to find time to go out. She played the victim, pretending to cry in front of relatives. From the outside, it looked like I was the lousy daughter-in-law. People would say, "Stop being so hard on your mother-in-law." Some even took her side and blamed me. I was grieving my father-in-law's death, but even strangers blamed me, which made me furious. I chose to distance myself from our relatives. Then Sheldon noticed me and approached to complain. "So, you embarrassed my mom in front of our relatives, huh?" he accused. "What? I don't understand. I was crying and grieving your dad's death. Then your mom came out to me, making snide comments. That's all," I defended. "I heard you were talking like she did nothing for my dad," Sheldon countered. "I didn't say that. I was saying how sad I was that your dad, who I had been taking care of, passed away. Maybe it sounded like I was blaming your mom because she didn't do anything. But in reality..." "Are you looking down on my mom?" Sheldon interrupted. "No, I'm just telling the truth. And if you're so upset, you should have helped me out. You could have taken better care of your dad. Why are you blaming me too? I'm not involved in this. You're his son. Didn't you feel any responsibility to take care of him?" I reasoned. "I had work. It was your job as a housewife to take care of him. That's not fair. I have work too, so that doesn't make sense," Sheldon argued. Our argument got heated, and panicked relatives intervened to break it up. Though the argument stopped, my husband and I didn't speak for the rest of the day. Later, after handling all the funeral arrangements, a lawyer talked about the inheritance. "I'd like to discuss the will regarding the inheritance after your father-in-law's passing. It states that the family home and land will be given to his son, Sheldon, while the remaining assets will be split equally between his wife and daughter-in-law, Arabella." "What? Why would Arabella get a share? I'm his wife. Shouldn't everything else be mine if Sheldon gets the house and land?" My mother-in-law objected. "Your husband wanted to acknowledge Arabella's dedication to his care. He wished to leave her a portion of the inheritance as a gesture of gratitude. This was his decision, and it cannot be changed," the lawyer explained. "Ah, I understand now. Arabella wasn't just looking after her father-in-law for the inheritance. She had a good relationship with him since she got married and cared for him out of gratitude for his kindness. She addressed her mother-in-law directly, questioning why she belittled her and pushed the caregiving responsibilities onto her. "I understand now," her mother-in-law said when the lawyer was present, unable to express her displeasure openly. "Well, I suppose it's a way of saying thank you for taking care of him. There's no other explanation," she added, trying to mask her irritation. But then the lawyer mentioned a note left by Arabella's father-in-law, stating that she no longer had to look after him. Her mother-in-law's demeanor changed from anger to happiness. "I got it. I get what it means now," she said, confusing Arabella's husband. "It means Arabella doesn't have to stay here anymore since she won't have to take care of my husband. The money split wasn't a thank you. It was just like a goodbye payment," Arabella's mother-in-law concluded, misinterpreting the situation based on her desires. However, Arabella knew the truth. Before her father-in-law passed away, they discussed his plan for her to be free from the house after his death. He wanted to trick her husband and mother-in-law with the will so she could leave without any trouble. Just as my father-in-law planned, my mother-in-law was fooled, trying to get rid of me, Arabella thought to herself. Despite her shock at the will's contents, Arabella acted as if she was genuinely surprised. She played along, pretending to be hurt by her father-in-law's decision, even though it was exactly what she wanted. "See, even my husband doesn't see you as his precious daughter-in-law. Sheldon, you don't need Arabella anymore, right? Just divorce her already, Arabella's mother-in-law suggested. Sheldon, after a moment of hesitation, agreed that divorce seemed like the best choice. He saw it as an opportunity to inherit the family property without any issues. Feeling hurt but determined to move on, Arabella handed her husband the divorce papers without hesitation. She finally left the house, no longer feeling like she belonged there. After leaving, Arabella wasted no time in submitting the divorce papers. She felt a rush of excitement as she arrived at her new apartment, finally free from the painful married life she endured. "Yes! I'm finally free! Free at last!" she exclaimed with joy in the spacious room. Since then, Arabella has been enjoying a comfortable life on her own. With more time to focus on her work, her income increased, allowing her to live luxuriously without any disturbances. However, nearly a year later, as she passed by her ex-husband's demolished house, she realized that she had moved on and left her past behind her. She found happiness in a new relationship built on mutual respect and love, and as she pondered her newfound happiness, she couldn't help but wonder if it was a gift from her father-in-law. Let's conclude the story. As Arabella reflected on her journey, from the tumultuous days of living with her in-laws to her newfound happiness, she couldn't help but feel grateful for the unexpected turns her life had taken. Leaving behind the bitterness and resentment of her past marriage, Arabella embraced the freedom she had long yearned for. She found solace in her independence, relishing the ability to live life on her terms. With her ex-husband and mother-in-law no longer a part of her life, Arabella focused on nurturing her newfound happiness. She cherished the loving relationship she had with her new husband, appreciating the mutual respect and understanding they shared. As she sipped wine in her cozy apartment, surrounded by the warmth of her husband's love, Arabella couldn't help but feel a sense of closure. The trials and tribulations she endured led her to this moment of contentment, where she could finally let go of the past and embrace the bright future that lay ahead. With a grateful heart and a renewed sense of purpose, Arabella looked forward to the adventures that awaited her. As she raised her glass in a toast to the journey that had brought her here, she knew that she was exactly where she was meant to be, happy, fulfilled, and accessible. Thanks for watching. How did you find the story? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more awesome stories like this. Your feedback and support mean a lot.